Hey everyone, welcome to Steph Style. Today I am going to go over a little kind of summary of my experience thus far selling at therealreal.com. I would usually about this time be doing a what sold on eBay, as I seem to do that about every 10 days or so. But I've come to the point where I've kind of determined my own opinion about selling on the RealReal, and I just wanted to share my experience with you in case you've been thinking about doing the same. So again, this is my experience. So if you're selling different kinds of items, if you're there's a lot of variables to the RealReal, and so this is just my experience. But for what it's worth, here we go. Sometimes I get items and I don't know, I decide whether to sell them myself, either on my channel or on eBay, or send them into the RealReal. And it's become clear what I'm going to do in the future, that's for sure. and I'll go over that and you'll kind of see what I mean. But for starters, I copied the commission chart at therealreal.com, and I'm going to go over that. But I just want to give a really quick summary of how it works at the RealReal. If you have items that you want to sell at the RealReal, there is a list of brands that they accept at the RealReal. And so you can go on their website and find it anytime. And they update it occasionally, you know, they add or they remove brands. Some brands they'll only sell certain items of. And so you go to the RealReal and you can go look and see, you know, do they sell this brand that I have? And then, you know, if so, then you can actually start kind of online you can say what you're going to send in. The service that you get once you decide to sell with them or try selling with them is amazing. You'll get a phone call actually shortly after you say, here are the things I want to sell. When you fill in their form and say that, they'll actually call you or text you. I think the service is great because, you might think, that sounds annoying. Well, they'll answer any questions you might have either on the phone if you answer the phone call. If you're like me, you're like, ugh, phone call, what the heck? No. So I texted them. So I had questions right away and I texted them the first time I sold with them. So you can do that if you'd like, or you can even send an email to them. Their service is absolutely amazing. I'll say that right now. They are very attentive, and so that is a good thing. So anyway, you send your items into them. They will look over your items. They can't be too damaged. They can have a little bit of wear. That's a whole nother video talking about the things they will and won't accept. But they, as long as it's not, they do accept items that are in good condition. They won't accept completely trashed items. That is for sure. And they don't take a lot of damage. But anyway, you send in your items. They will go over the items and index them, and they'll look them over. Not only will they'll accept, take them in, and then they will be sent to decide whether they're going to accept the item. And if they accept the item, then it is a team of theirs will look it over to make sure that it is authentic. And then once that happens, if they do accept the items, they will list the items for sale. If they don't accept the items, they will mail them back to you. Or if they were not authenticated, they will send your items back to you. But if they keep them, they will list them. It does take some time, so you have to kind of be patient. You can't, if you're in a real hurry to get something sold, you got to understand that is not going to happen too quickly at the RealReal. So, but it's a good thing they do take the time because they do authenticate all of their items, and that's one of the reasons people love to shop there. So anyway, that is how it works. And then here is the commission chart. And if you're used to selling on Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, it's a little bit of a shock to get used to the commission schedule because it's a little odd to call it commission when they're actually selling your stuff. So that is a little weird to me, but as you can see in the chart here, most of the items that I have to sell are going to be somewhere in the $0 to $300 range, most of them. And so if you have higher items than that, of course, you're going to get a really good payout. But $0 to $99 value, you get a 20% commission. $100 to $149, you get a 30% commission. So if they sell a dress of yours for $130, you're going to get 30% of that $130, and they're going to get the rest. And then next up is $150 to $200. You get 45%. And I've heard other people say it only starts being worthwhile to sell stuff at the RealReal when you get into the 200 plus range. I think I'm on board with that. I mean, there are some times when the 150 to 200 can be okay, but so that is the chart. It's a little bit shocking if you have, let's just say you have a Farm Rio, because that is one of the brands they accept, a Farm Rio dress, and you bought it for $300 or whatever, $100 or whatever, and you send it to the RealReal and they sell it for $100. You're only going to get $30. If they sell it for $99, you're only going to get $20 of that. That's $20. So that's a little bit shocking, but that's probably the most important thing you can know before selling on the RealReal is that you're not going to get big bucks if it sells for under $100. The most you're going to get if something sells, under $100, the most you're going to get is $19. So yeah, that's kind of shocking. Anyway, that is the chart. So now with that in mind, let's go over the last, I don't even know, I think it's since January. This is the items that I have sold. I just want to go over each item and talk about whether it was worth it or not. So let's start out with this Millie printed knee-length dress. I got this dress at a thrift store. I think I got it for $8. I sent it into the RealReal. I really wasn't sure how things would go with it. I really wasn't sure how Millie sold for. Millie does not sell resale for Millie dresses. It's not that high, but I thought maybe it'll do better on the RealReal. But I sold it. I sent it into them, and they accepted it. And a lot of the times, the items that you send to them go on a discount fairly quickly. And it did sell eventually. It sold at a 20% discount. The amount that it sold for was, let's see, it sold for $52, and my part of that was $10.40. I actually made $2.40 on that dress, but probably not really worth my time, to be honest. But, that was my first experience selling a Millie dress with them. Ironically, I also had gotten a Millie dress in a DIY designer box, so that is the next item here. And that is a Millie color block wool dress. It was an absolutely gorgeous dress, and I was super excited to get it. The retail price on the dress was super high, but in the end, it sold at a 75% discount, and it sold for $10. It sold for $10, so my commission was $2 on that. So my approximate cost from getting it in a DIY designer box was like $22, so meh. I lost $20 on that one. That was really disappointing because it was a really nice dress and it was a gorgeous dress, but it was a size 6. And as you've probably heard me say on my channel before, smaller sizes just don't sell as well for some reason. So anyway, so I know talking about those two dresses first is like, ugh, it gets a little bit better. So stay on board here for a little bit and you'll see. The next item is this pair of Christian Louboutin leather slingback pumps. I bought those for myself for an outfit for a wedding I was going to, not really knowing that my size in Christian Louboutin was going to be a whole size. I need a whole size bigger. They run small, at least for my feet they do. I had bought them for $80 from the RealReal. I had bought them at a deep discount, and I just sent them back to the RealReal to sell them, and I got really pretty lucky because they sold for $100. They only sold at a 30% discount, and they sold for $171.50. So my commission on that one was $77.18. So I was only down $2.82. Here again, I'm mixing in items that I'm selling of my own. I really did not buy those Christian Louboutins to sell them. I bought them to wear them. So anyway, I could not wear them because they were too small. It was final clearance. I could not return them. So I sold them again, and I got lucky, and I only ended up $2.82 down from that deal. So that was I thought that was decent. Next up is this Theory blazer, women's blazer. I paid, I think, $8 for that at a thrift store, and it sold at a 20% discount for $48. My part of it was $9.60. So, I mean, I made $1.60 on it. If I had it to do over, I would take that Theory Blazer and sell it on eBay myself. Or I would have tried to sell it on my channel. I just think I could have done better than $1.60 profit on it. But it's, you know what, there has to be a fine balance between, so the Real, what they bring to the table is the fact that everything is guaranteed to be authentic. And so, you know, when someone shops on the Real, they're looking to be assured that it's authentic. And on eBay, people are always a little bit nervous, but, you know, not always, but people are a little bit more nervous about buying things if they're not authenticated. So if you don't want to spend the money to get it authenticated, like I said, you have to balance out how much you're going to get versus, you know, the value of having it authenticated. So that is the Theory Blazer. Still no big crazy numbers yet, I know. But next up is this Marchesa printed midi length dress, Marchesa Nota. I don't know if that's how you say it actually, but it's a beautiful, she designs absolutely beautiful dresses. This probably sold brand new for about $400. I bought it for a wedding I was going to. It did not fit me. And so I sent it into the Real. I really thought it would do well, but it did not do well. It ended up selling at an 80% discount, and it sold for $62. My part of it that I got, my commission was $12.40. So I paid $120. I actually bought that on Poshmark. I paid $120 for it, and so I lost I think about $107 I lost on it. So, but again, that one I was not buying to resell. I was buying that one for my own. I just tried to sell it on there because I thought it would do well, but it did not do well. Okay, so Marchesa dresses, I don't know why. I don't find that they seem to do very well on the Real. Maybe really special styles do, but not for me. They haven't. Actually, I have another one for sale on the Real now too, and that one's also not doing well. I think it's right now 80% off, and it still hasn't sold. Okay, moving on to the next item. This is a good story, I promise. This one is. This item right here, this absolutely mind-bendingly gorgeous St. John one-shoulder long dress. Probably the most beautiful item I've ever received in a DIY designer box from ThredUp. If you follow my channel, you probably saw me open this one up. It was so gorgeous. It was just stunning. It did not take long to sell. I knew it would not take long to sell. It sold very, very quickly. I don't even know. I think it took maybe less than a week, a couple days. It sold at a 10% discount, and it sold for $238. And my commission on that was $131. That was decent. I thought that was a really good deal. I paid average price on a designer box. I paid $22 for it. So with it selling for $238, my commission is $131, and I made about $109 on that item. So that was a good one. Next up is this Dolce & Gabbana leather messenger bag, and this one I saw it on clearance, and it was one of the, it was on clearance at ThredUp, actually. And I just saw it was for sale for $80, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is a good deal for a Dolce & Gabbana bag. So I bought it with the intention of sending it to the Real. And so I paid $80 for it. It took very, very short amount of time. It took, I think, a few weeks or 3 weeks maybe. But it sold at a 30% discount. It sold for $318. My commission was $191. $191. Not bad at all. So I made about, if I subtract the amount of money I paid for it, I made about $110 on that item. So that one really had a lot of likes really quickly. The nice thing about this messenger bag, Dolce & Gabbana messenger bag, is it could be a man's or a woman's item. I think it was more of a man's item actually, but either way, it sold, and I did pretty well on that one. Next up is this sweater, this Dale of Norway virgin wool turtleneck pullover. Bought this at a thrift shop. I bought it for $30, and it sold within, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, and it sold for $101. My commission on that was $30.45. So I made the big 45 cents on that one. It was okay. I mean, it was a gamble to send it in there, but I thought it would sell for more than $101. The sweaters brand new are you know, 300, something like that. And this one was in perfect shape. So, but you win some and you lose some. All right, moving on to the next item is this pair of Gucci leather loafers. And I got these shoes quite a long while ago in a ThredUp DIY designer box. They were in great condition. They just had a little bit of creasing, and I listed them on eBay. They sat on eBay for months, and I just finally said, you know what, I'm just going to send these into the RealReal. And here is where I think the RealReal shines. People don't want to pay a lot of money for a pair of Gucci loafers unless they know they're authentic. I did not have them authenticated, so I mean, I could have done that. I will consider doing that in the future. But anyway, these did sell within a month, I believe. They sold for $236 at a 20% discount. And then my commission was $132. So with a cost from the DIY designer box being $22, I made $110 on that pair of shoes. So I was really pretty happy with that. And they haven't been, none of these things have been returned yet. By the way, dresses and things, I have come to find out, clothing does get returned fairly often at the RealReal. And if it does get returned, it'll go back into stock, it'll go back up for sale, and it'll still go on the same, you know, sales schedule it was originally on. So they'll eventually sell it, but it's always a bummer when you think you made a little money and then someone returns it, but that's how it goes. So, all right. Moving on to the next item is this pair of AGL leather animal print Oxfords. I got these at a garage sale for $10, and I actually bought them for myself. Again, I was not buying them to resell them. They were really cute, but they just didn't look right on me. They just didn't look right. So I sent them into the RealReal. They sold at a 20% discount for $44. Is that $44? Yeah. And so my commission on that was $8.80. And that means I lost $1.20 on them. Not my aim, but it's better to lose $1.20 than to just be out the money, I guess. So next up is this St. John tweed pattern evening jacket. I got that. I got a screaming deal on that at the Goodwill. They must not have known it was St. John, or they must not have known the value of St. John, either one. And it sold on a 40% discount for $147, believe it or not. My commission on that was $44.30. So with my cost being about $8 from the thrift store, $36 approximately was my profit on that one. So that was pretty decent. I was pretty excited about that one. Next up is this pair of Prada leather pumps. My cost on these, I bought these for myself, and I paid $90 for them at a consignment store, and I wore them a few times, and I just, after having knee surgery, wasn't really sure I wanted to wear them anymore, so I sent them into the RealReal. They did sell for $147 on a 40% discount, and my commission on that was $44.30. So if you consider I paid $90 for them, I do not feel bad about making a $45 commission on this item, because I did wear them a few times, and that was okay with me. I got some money back for them, so probably more than I would have got if I listed them on eBay. So that's a good thing. Next up, just a couple left now. The next one is this Marc by Marc Jacobs leather handbag. Got that at Goodwill, and I paid $20 for it. I thought it would go for more on the RealReal, but it ended up selling at a 20% discount, and for, I think it was I can't read, it's too small, I can't read the writing on this. So anyway, okay, so I believe it's $90, $98. And so my commission on it anyway was $11.20, so I lost $8.80 on it. Not ideal. If I had it to do over, I would have sold that item on eBay, because Marc by Marc Jacobs does sell on eBay. So that's that live and learn. And then one more item is this Lafayette 148 jacket. And this jacket I got at an auction a couple years ago. And I actually did get it to resell, but I really liked it. So I wore it several times. And I had bought it for $15, by the way. And then it ended up selling at a 20% discount, and for oh gosh, I can't, the typing is so small on my page. Sorry, I had to print myself out things because I could not remember all this. And I add the images after, by the way. So anyway, my commission on this jacket was $11.20. So I'm down $3.80 on it. But I mean, that's okay with me. I wore it various times. I actually really loved this jacket. Lafayette 148 is a great brand name. I love their clothing. It fits so nice and looks so good. So anyway, so I guess my summary of all of this is, you know, when I added up the items that I sold, all the items that I sold were 10 items were in the $0 to $99 sales bracket. So that was a total of 10 items that I made $184 on. Average amount of money I made was $18.40. I definitely think the bulk of those items that were selling for under $100, I could have gotten more for almost all of them on eBay. So I probably won't. If I'm not confident I'll make more than $100 in an item. You never know for sure, by the way. You never know what they'll list it for. Sometimes they surprise you and list it for more, and sometimes you're like, ugh, 40? Ugh. You might as well not waste your time for that, right? So that's how I felt, at least. On the other hand, I did pretty well on the items that were above, especially on the items that were above $150, I did well on. So at least for my own self, I'm going to be a lot more choosy about which items I send into the RealReal. It seems like items that sell well are St. John's, Dolce & Gabbana, and, you know, Louboutins do well on there as well. So Lafayette 148 does well. Some brands just don't sell for a lot on there. So I guess if I had it to do over, like I said, if an item, I'm pretty sure it's going to sell for more than $150, I will send it into the RealReal. So that is my video about the RealReal. I hope that gives you some idea about, you know, if you're going to try it, gives you some idea about how it works and how it went for me. So thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day.